Let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this for a moment. When was the last time you finished a meal and actually felt good afterward? Not bloated, not heavy, not like you needed to unbutton your trousers and lie down on the sofa, not sitting there wondering why your stomach feels like it has been stuffed with wet concrete even though you barely ate anything. If you are over 60 and that feeling sounds painfully familiar, I want you to know something important right from the start. What you are experiencing is not just a normal part of getting older. It is your body sending you a very specific message. And today, I am going to help you understand exactly what that message is and what you can do about it starting tonight. I am Dr. Weston, and in today's video, we are going to talk about something that affects a surprisingly large number of adults over 60, but is rarely discussed openly and honestly. We are talking about sluggish digestion, bloating, trapped gas, and the kind of irregular bowel habits that quietly steal your comfort, your energy, and your peace of mind every single day. And more importantly, I'm going to share with you a simple, completely natural, step-by-step approach that many of my patients have found genuinely life-changing. No expensive products, no harsh treatments, just practical, body-friendly strategies that work with your digestive system instead of against it. Now, before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Have you been dealing with bloating or sluggish digestion for months or even years? Drop a comment below and let me know. You would be surprised how many people in this community are going through the exact same thing and feel completely alone in it. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to see today. So, let us start by understanding why digestion tends to slow down as we get older, because I think once you understand the why, everything else is going to make so much more sense. Here is something that surprises a lot of people. Your digestive system is not a simple tube that food passes through. It is an incredibly complex, muscular, nerve-driven system that requires the right conditions, the right hydration, the right nutritional support, and yes, even the right daily habits to keep working efficiently. And here's the thing, every single one of those factors tends to shift as we age. Think about it this way. Imagine your digestive system is like a river. When you are younger, that river flows with good force, sweeping everything along at a healthy pace. But as the years go by, several things can cause that river to slow down. The muscles along the intestinal walls, which create the wave-like contractions that move food through your system, can lose some of their strength and efficiency over time. The beneficial bacteria that live in your gut and play a massive role in healthy digestion can become imbalanced. Your body's ability to produce digestive enzymes and stomach acid tends to decline, making it harder to break food down properly. And one of the most overlooked changes of all is that your sense of thirst becomes less reliable. Older adults are significantly more likely to be mildly dehydrated on any given day without even knowing it. And dehydration is one of the single biggest contributors to slow, sluggish, uncomfortable digestion. The result of all of this is that the river slows to almost a standstill. Food moves through more slowly, fermentation increases, gas gets trapped, the abdomen swells and feels tight, and what should be a natural, effortless daily process starts to feel like a daily ordeal. I understand how exhausting that is. I see it in my patients all the time, and I want you to know it does not have to stay that way. But wait, before I get into the solutions, I need to address something that I feel very strongly about, because I believe a lot of people over 60 are actually making their digestive situation worse without realizing it. And that has to do with the enormous amount of misinformation out there about so-called colon cleanses and gut reset products. Here is the honest truth that very few people in the wellness space will tell you. Your body already has one of the most sophisticated natural detoxification systems on the planet. Your liver and your kidneys are working around the clock every single hour of every single day to filter your blood, process waste, and eliminate what does not belong. Your colon is not a storage tank of toxic sludge building up over the years. It is a dynamic, muscular organ designed to move waste along and eliminate it. The idea that you need to periodically blast it clean with harsh laxatives, aggressive herbal purges, or expensive detox protocols is not supported by solid science, and in many cases can actually cause real harm. Here is why this matters so much, particularly for you if you are over 60. Many of the aggressive laxative products on the market, particularly those containing certain stimulant herbs, work by essentially irritating the lining of the intestine, forcing it to contract. Now, that might produce a result in the short term, but here is what happens over time. Your intestine, which has been overstimulated and irritated repeatedly, gradually becomes dependent on that external stimulus. Its own natural ability to contract and move things along weakens. You end up needing more of the product to get the same effect. You have essentially trained your gut to stop doing its own job. I have seen this pattern in many patients, and it is genuinely distressing when someone realizes that what they thought was helping them has actually made things significantly worse over months and years. And the same goes for the very popular apple cider vinegar recommendation that you will find all over the internet. While some people do report mild digestive benefits from it, the evidence that it specifically addresses constipation or gut sluggishness in older adults is very thin. And for people who already have any degree of acid sensitivity or reflux, it can cause more irritation than relief. So, what is the answer? I am glad you asked, because this is where things get genuinely interesting. The approach I want to share with you today is built on a completely different philosophy. Instead of forcing or attacking the digestive system, we are going to support it. We are going to give it exactly what it needs to wake up and do its own job beautifully. And the foundation of this entire approach begins with something you already have in your kitchen right now. And here is what I am about to tell you, because very few people understand this, even though the science behind it is completely solid. The single most powerful thing many of my older patients have done to restart their sluggish digestion costs absolutely nothing and takes less than 5 minutes every morning. It is warm water, but not just any warm water and not in just any way. The how and the when matter enormously, and that is exactly what I am going to walk you through right now. Here is the practice. Every single morning before you do anything else, before your coffee, before your breakfast, before you check your phone, you drink between 300 and 500 milliliters of warm water. That is roughly 1 to 2 standard glasses. The water should be comfortably warm, not hot enough to burn, not cold. Think of the temperature you might use for a soothing herbal tea, warm and gentle. Now let me explain exactly why this works, because I think when you understand the mechanism, you will never skip this habit again. Your digestive system, particularly your colon, has been in a resting state overnight. It has been quietly processing and consolidating waste, and by the time you wake up, much of what needs to be eliminated is already positioned and ready. But your colon needs a signal, a clear biological cue that the day has started and it is time to get moving. That signal is called the gastrocolic reflex. It is a natural nerve-driven response where stimulation of the stomach sends a message directly to the colon, triggering the muscular contractions that move waste toward elimination. When you drink a meaningful volume of warm water on an empty stomach, two things happen simultaneously. The volume gently stretches the stomach walls, activating that gastrocolic reflex and sending that wake-up signal to the colon. And the warmth of the water helps relax the smooth muscle along the digestive tract, making those contractions more comfortable and effective. Cold water, by contrast, can cause the muscles to tighten rather than relax, which is why temperature matters here. You are essentially giving your entire digestive system a warm, gentle nudge and saying, "Good morning, time to get to work." Many people report feeling the urge to use the bathroom within 20 to 30 minutes of this practice. And when this ritual is repeated every morning consistently, it begins to reestablish a natural rhythm. It teaches the body a reliable daily pattern. For adults over 60 whose digestive timing has become unpredictable or sluggish, this alone can represent a meaningful shift. Now, here is something I want to be clear about. This is the foundation, but it works best as part of a broader approach. So, let me walk you through the other key elements that I recommend alongside this morning water ritual, because together they create something genuinely powerful. The first thing I want you to think about is prunes, specifically prepared in a way that most people have never tried. You have probably heard that prunes are helpful for digestion, and yes, that is true, but the way you use them makes an enormous difference. What I suggest is this. The night before, take 4 or 5 dried prunes and place them in a glass of water. Just cover them completely and leave them to soak overnight. In the morning, after your warm water ritual, eat those soaked prunes. They will be beautifully soft and easy to digest. And then, this is the part most people miss, drink the soaking water as well. Here is why this matters so much. Prunes contain 2 things that make them particularly effective for digestive support. First, they are rich in both soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber absorbs water and forms a gel-like substance that softens the stool and makes it easier to pass. Insoluble fiber adds bulk, which helps keep things moving through the colon at a healthy pace. Second, and this is the really interesting part, prunes naturally contain a compound called sorbitol. Sorbitol is a type of sugar alcohol that the body does not absorb efficiently. When it reaches the colon, it draws water into the bowel by a process called osmosis, essentially softening the stool from the inside out. When you soak prunes overnight, a meaningful amount of that sorbitol transfers into the soaking water. So, drinking that water gives you a concentrated, gentle dose of this natural stool-softening compound. This is why the soaking method is so much more effective than simply eating a few prunes from the packet. One important note here, if you are new to this, start with 3 prunes rather than 5. Everyone's digestive system responds a little differently, and you want to introduce this gently, especially in the first few days. Now let us talk about gas and bloating, because for many people, this is actually more immediately uncomfortable than the constipation itself. That tight, distended feeling in the abdomen, the pressure, the discomfort after meals, that bloated sensation that makes you feel twice your actual size. This happens largely because when food moves too slowly through the digestive tract, the bacteria in the colon have more time to ferment it, producing gas as a byproduct. The solution here is not to avoid eating, it is to support the natural movement of that gas and to calm the intestinal environment. One of the most effective and underused natural tools for this is fennel. Fennel seeds have been used in digestive health for centuries across many different cultures and for very good reason. They contain compounds, most notably one called enethol, that have been observed to relax the smooth muscle tissue of the intestinal wall. This muscle relaxation serves 2 important purposes. It helps relieve the cramping and discomfort associated with trapped gas, and it allows that gas to move more freely and exit the body rather than sitting there building pressure. Making a simple fennel tea after meals is something I recommend regularly for patients who struggle with post-meal bloating. Add a teaspoon of fennel seeds to a cup of hot water, cover it, and let it steep for about 10 minutes, then strain and sip it slowly while it is still warm. 2 or 3 cups a day, especially after your main meals, can make a noticeable difference in how your abdomen feels throughout the day. If this is resonating with you so far, I would really appreciate it if you would take a second and hit the like button. It genuinely helps me reach more people who need this information, and it costs you nothing. Now, let us talk about something that most digestive health videos completely skip over, and that is the powerful connection between physical movement and gut motility. Gut motility is simply the medical term for how efficiently the muscles of the digestive tract contract and move things along. And here is something fascinating. The digestive tract is lined with its own complex network of nerves, sometimes called the enteric nervous system or the second brain. This nervous system responds directly to physical movement of the body. When you walk, when you move your limbs, when you engage your core muscles, you are sending stimulating signals through this enteric nervous system that actively encourage the digestive muscles to contract. This is why people who are largely sedentary, whether due to mobility limitations, fatigue, or simply habit, so often struggle with digestive sluggishness. The gut is quite literally waiting for the body to move before it fully commits to moving itself. Even a gentle 15 to 20-minute walk after your main meal of the day can have a meaningful impact on how efficiently your digestion progresses. If walking is difficult for you, even gentle seated movement, Light stretching or simple range of motion exercises can provide some of that stimulating signal. And here is a very simple physical technique that I recommend particularly for people who have limited mobility or who find that bloating and gas tend to accumulate regardless of what they eat or drink. It is an abdominal self-massage that takes about 5 to 10 minutes and can be done lying comfortably in bed or on the sofa. Place your fingertips gently on the lower right side of your abdomen. Using slow, gentle circular pressure, begin moving your fingers upward toward your right rib, then across your upper abdomen toward your left side, then slowly downward toward your lower left abdomen. You are essentially following the path that your colon travels through the body from right to left and then downward. This gentle external pressure can help stimulate the muscles of the colon to contract and move their contents along. It is simple, it is completely safe, it costs nothing, and many people find it surprisingly effective, particularly first thing in the morning before getting out of bed. Now, I want to come back to something I mentioned earlier and expand on it because I believe it is genuinely the most underappreciated factor in digestive health for adults over 60, and that is hydration, specifically the relationship between fiber, hydration, and digestive comfort. Here's the thing, many well-meaning people, when they hear that fiber is good for digestion, immediately start eating more high-fiber foods, more salads, more whole grains, more legumes, and then they wonder why they feel even more bloated and uncomfortable than before. The answer is almost always water. Fiber in the digestive tract is like a sponge. It needs to absorb water in order to swell up, soften, and add the right kind of bulk that keeps stools soft and easy to pass. If you increase your fiber intake without simultaneously and significantly increasing your fluid intake, that fiber sits in the colon, dry and compacted, making things worse rather than better. This is one of the most common digestive mistakes I see, and it is completely avoidable once you understand what is happening. Here is the practical approach I recommend. Think of water as the partner that fiber cannot work without. Every time you add a high-fiber food to your day, drink an extra glass of water alongside it. Carry a water bottle with you and sip consistently throughout the day rather than trying to catch up in the evenings. And here is an important pro tip that can make a real difference to your sleep quality as well. Try to consume the majority of your daily fluids before about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening. This allows your kidneys time to process that fluid before you go to bed, significantly reducing the likelihood that you will be woken up in the night by the need to urinate. Good sleep, as I will mention in a moment, is also surprisingly important for digestive health. The fiber sources I find most effective and gentle for adults over 60 include oats, particularly overnight oats or porridge, which soften the fiber beautifully. Chia seeds and ground flax seeds soaked in water or added to yogurt, steamed or gently cooked vegetables rather than raw, which can be harder to digest for some people, ripe fruit with the skin left on where possible, and cooked legumes like lentils and chickpeas introduced gradually if you are not used to them. Here is something that I think will genuinely surprise you, and this is one of those pieces of information that very few people connect together. Your sleep quality has a direct and measurable impact on your digestive function. During deep sleep, your body carries out a remarkable process called the migrating motor complex. This is essentially a housekeeping wave of muscular contractions that sweeps through the digestive tract, clearing out residue and keeping things moving between meals and overnight. When your sleep is fragmented or insufficient, this process is disrupted. The digestive tract does not get properly cleared between cycles, which contributes to sluggishness, gas buildup, and that uncomfortable heaviness the next morning. If you are consistently sleeping poorly, addressing that is not just about your energy or your mood, it is a genuine digestive health priority. I want to share something with you now about a patient of mine, a wonderful gentleman named Thomas, 71 years old, a retired teacher from the north of England. Thomas came to see me after 3 years of what he described as living with a stomach that simply does not work properly anymore. He was bloated most days, uncomfortable after virtually every meal, and had developed a real anxiety around eating because he never knew how his body was going to respond. He had tried several over-the-counter products, a couple of herbal laxative teas, and nothing had made a lasting difference. When I sat down with Thomas and we went through his daily routine, a few things became very clear very quickly. He was drinking far less water than his body needed. He had almost no movement in his day since retiring, and his breakfast every morning was a cup of strong coffee on an empty stomach, which was actually working against his digestive system rather than helping it. We made some specific changes. We introduced the morning warm water ritual. We added soaked prunes 3 mornings a week. We adjusted his fiber intake and paired it properly with hydration. We got him walking for 15 minutes after his lunch, and within about 10 days, Thomas sent me a message. He said, "Dr. Weston, I genuinely cannot believe the difference. My stomach feels calmer than it has in years. I am going to the bathroom regularly and without that sense of dread I had been carrying around for so long. That is exactly what I want for you. So, let me bring this all together now into a clear, practical action plan that you can start today. Tonight, before you go to bed, place 4 or 5 prunes in a glass of water and leave them to soak. Set them out where you will see them first thing in the morning. Make this your routine every night. Tomorrow morning, before anything else, before coffee, before breakfast, before your phone, heat a glass or 2 of water until it is comfortably warm and drink it slowly and calmly. Then eat your soaked prunes and drink the soaking water. If you have 5 minutes, do the gentle abdominal massage while you are still lying in bed. Then wait about 30 minutes before having your breakfast and choose something that combines gentle fiber with good hydration, like porridge with fruit or chia seeds soaked in yogurt. Through the day, drink water consistently. After your main meal, go for a short walk if you are able. Even 15 minutes makes a difference. And have a cup of fennel tea after eating to help ease any gas and calm the digestive environment. In the evening, keep dinner light and easy to digest. A vegetable soup, steamed fish, cooked vegetables. Give your system the chance to rest and reset overnight. If you do this consistently for 2 days, many people notice a meaningful shift. Not a dramatic purge, not a sudden miracle, but a genuine softening and regularizing of their digestion, a reduction in that uncomfortable, tight, bloated feeling, a greater sense of ease and comfort in the body. And the beautiful thing is that once you establish these habits, they become effortless. They take almost no time out of your day, and they support not just your digestion, but your overall sense of well-being. I genuinely care about how you feel every single day, not just in theory, not just in a clinical sense, but as someone who talks to real people living with these real discomforts every week. You deserve to feel light and comfortable in your own body. You deserve to eat a meal without worrying about what is going to happen afterward. And you deserve the confidence of knowing that your body is working with you, not against you. Tell me in the comments which part of this approach you are going to try first. Is it the morning warm water ritual, the soaked prunes, the fennel tea, or the abdominal massage? I genuinely want to know, and your response might just inspire someone else who is reading those comments and trying to decide whether to give this a go. To summarize what we have covered today, we looked at why digestion naturally slows after 60 and why the river needs the right conditions to flow well again. We talked about why aggressive cleanses and stimulant laxatives can actually make things worse over time. And we walked through a complete, gentle, natural system built on 5 practical pillars. Warm water first thing in the morning to activate the gastrocolic reflex. Soaked prunes to gently soften and support bowel movement. Fennel tea after meals to ease gas and calm the intestinal muscles. Physical movement and abdominal massage to stimulate gut motility. And consistent hydration paired intelligently with gentle fiber sources throughout the day. This is not a quick fix. It is a sustainable, body-friendly approach to digestive health that works with your physiology rather than against it. Start tonight, give it 2 days, and then keep going because your gut will thank you for it. Remember, this video is for informational and educational purposes only. Always consult with your personal doctor before making any changes to your health. If you found this video helpful, Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a health tip. See you in the next video.